At forward, a 6'6" junior from Floyd's Knobs, Indiana, number 40, Carl Weaver. For Syracuse, at forward, a 6'5" junior from Syracuse, New York, number 25, Howard Trish. For Navy, at forward, a 6'7" senior from Beltsville, Maryland, number 51, Vernon Butler. For Syracuse, at forward, a 6'9" senior from Brooklyn, New York, number 45, co-captain Wendell Alexis. For Navy, at center, a 6'11" junior from Woodbridge, Virginia, number 50, David Robinson. For Syracuse, at center, a 6'10" sophomore from Athens, Greece, number 4, Ronnie Cycli. For Navy, at guard, a 6'6" senior from Lebanon, Oregon, number 5, Tyler Whitaker. For Syracuse, at guard, a 6'7" senior from Jersey City, New Jersey, number 12, Raphael Addison. For Navy, at guard, a 6'1" junior from Wheeling, West Virginia, number 10, Doug Wojcik. And for Syracuse, at guard, a 6'2" junior from Brooklyn, New York, number 31, Dwayne Washington. Now introducing the head coaches for Navy in his 7th season, Paul Evans. For Syracuse, in his 10th season, Jim Mahart.
And so the stage is set. Earlier they met, it was all Syracuse. Navy would like to change that today. The midshipmen against the Orangemen.
Beautiful day, huh?
Yep. Hi. How you doing? I had a little trouble keeping up with you. Is that you back there? Yeah, some road, huh?
Sure is.
Hey, how do you like your Grand Am?
Love it. Really handles.
Boy, I guess you just flat disappeared from me back there, man. What engine you running?
3-liter V6.
Fuel injected?
Oh, yeah. But maybe I'll see you next time through.
Yeah, hey, maybe next time I'll have a,
Yeah.
Every bottle of Miller comes with a clear promise.
Miller's made the American way.
A promise that Miller beer has been brewed naturally.
Born and brewed in the USA.
And above all, a promise of purity. A promise that Miller beer contains no additives, no preservatives.
Miller's made the American way.
Miller beer, purity you can see, quality you can taste.
Navy against Syracuse, the winner to move on to the Meadowlands. In East Rutherford to continue in this NCAA tournament in the East Regional. Navy will be in the dark uniforms, Syracuse in the white. One of the big matchups, of course, will be between David Robinson and Ronnie Cycli.
Gary, I think the key early is going to be, can Navy get the ball inside against the man-to-man defense, take the ball right at Cycli, Alexis, and the inside people of Syracuse, and get to the free throw line, which is their strength.
Booker Turner will put it in play. Richard Weiler and Jim Clark, the other two officials, and Navy has the opening tap. Navy last year defeated LSU in the first round, worn down, lost to Maryland, and of course, earlier in this tournament, defeated Tulsa.
We see a tough man-to-man defense now by Syracuse. Cycli trying to front on the inside against Robinson.
And Cycli with the block. Cycli coming in here with 94. Tied for 5th in the country in that department. Trish at the other end. Good block out that time. Excellent block out is executed by Lieber.
Let's see how that block shot affects David Robinson. Earlier this year in the first ball game, Cycli took him out of the game by blocking a shot.
Robinson takes it inside. And we're going to have the charging foul on David Robinson or the turnover.
I think they've called him for walking, but Gary, here's the block shot. Cycli off the ball, coming over to block David Robinson's shot. That right there is a message to David Robinson about you better be prepared today because I'm going to contest every shot that you take.
It was a traveling call on Robinson. Robinson, surprisingly this year, has fouled out of only 2 games. And it comes to Cycli, rejected by David Robinson. Vernon Butler, and they have it at the other end. Tyler Whitaker, the junior out of Lebanon, Oregon. And it's now a 2-0 lead for the midshipmen.
Ron Cycli is going to have to use a pump fake against David Robinson. David Robinson laying behind him in the post. He could get in foul trouble if he lets him catch the ball in there, and depends on blocking shots all afternoon.
Cycli is playing with a bruised left shoulder that has bothered him considerably. He was in and out of the lineup in the game earlier against Brown, which they won so easily.
We see right now Navy into a 2-3 zone. They just, Gary, physically can't match up. Quickness-wise with Syracuse, they must play that zone.
The Pearl on the move, no whistle. Cycli tries to follow, and we have a push-off inside. Liebert committing the foul. Carl Liebert, he's a junior out of Floyd's Knob, Indiana.
The two guards from Navy are going to have to do a good job of sealing off the gap against Pearl Washington. Gary, we've seen him many times. He likes to slice in there into that gap, shoot those leaning shots. They can draw offensive fouls on him if they get good position.
Raphael Addison, who needs 19 points today to become the all-time leading scorer at Syracuse. Here he is, the 6'7" senior into Trish. Nice ball fake, and he gets a layup. It's tied at 2. The pressure. And it comes to Robinson. He was out of control. Trish saves it off to the Pearl. And broken up again. Wojcik ahead to Whitaker. Whitaker being contested by Pearl Washington.
We see Syracuse there, full court pressure, zone defense, then coming back to their man-to-man.
Robinson. Wojcik with a beautiful lead pass to David Robinson.
This David Robinson is an outstanding player. At 7 feet, he has great agility, can leap, can run the floor, soft hands.
And at the other end, they try to counter with Cycli. Alexis follows. Wendell Alexis ties it up at 4. 17-18 to go now in this first half. Wojcik breaks the pressure to David Robinson. He is fouled, and can Robinson run the floor at 6'11"? He can convert from one end to the other in a hurry as Cycli commits a foul.
The big question, can Wojcik and Whitaker keep this kind of pace up, forcing the ball up the floor against this defense? Looked like Navy that time tried to get the ball inbounds very quickly before Syracuse could get their defense set. But if they can get out and run the floor like that, and David Robinson can be on the receiving end of those passes, they're going to have success against this Syracuse defense.
Robinson is not a good free throw shooter. Interestingly enough, his field goal and free throw percentages are equal at 61, but he did nail that one. We mentioned that Robinson's fouled out only twice this year. Cycli, on the other hand, has fouled out 7 times and has been in a lot of foul trouble this year. 5-4 Navy. We've played 3 minutes. Cycli. Robinson with another rejection. He led the country in that department. Whitaker at the other end. And he'll bring it out, but Alexis with a steal. Up to Addison. Robinson is back. He blocked it again.
What great timing by David Robinson. 3 block shots in the ball game already. Addison tried to trick him and shoot him quickly, and Robinson went up and snatched it.
He had nothing to do with that, right? Averaging almost 6 blocks a game. And it goes to David, broken up Cycli. The Pearl on the move. Right now, I get the feeling Navy's got the tempo up too fast for him.
That's what I was saying, Gary. Right now, Syracuse controlling this by getting the ball up the floor quickly. Navy has to recognize when they have something quickly, and when they don't, they must pull it out. Also, Syracuse interior defense has been outstanding by forcing turnovers.
Cycli fronting Robinson, able to bat it out of bounds. I got the feeling David Robinson a little bit tired just early, just because of all the excitement of this game, and he kind of pulled up a while ago and grabbing his pants already in this game. That can happen to you early in the game. Robinson misses, and he's going to have a foul for pushing off.
Oh, man, that's a tough call. Jimmy Clark there, the official ruled that David Robinson pushed off with his right arm, his off arm, as he took the jump shot. That's an important foul right there. That would have been Cycli's second. As it is, it's David Robinson's first.
Do I anticipate the look at him? He's breathing a little hard right now. He made that one run down the floor, remember, to try to convert a layup?
Well, he's working very hard on the inside, both offensively and defensively, and trying to get out on the break. He's going to have to find a place to try to pace himself at some point in this ball game because they need him to play 40 minutes.
Syracuse by 1, 6-5, 15:41 to go in the first half. Addison. 8-5, the Orangemen with the lead. Maybe he'll have to handle this kind of pressure, take care of the ball. And Pearl is always in the vicinity and always trouble ahead. Here's Robinson, and he lost it out of bounds. It will be off of Syracuse. Let's check some scores at games played late last night. North Carolina defeating Gene Bartow's team 77-59. This is the beginning of a very busy day here on CBS, which we'll keep you posted on. There's Butler. Butler, a workaholic in the lane. He is so tough inside.
A very important basket there by Vernon Butler. Whereas Robinson is a leaper, he uses his body and bangs you, sort of negates your jumping ability and gets it in and off the glass.
See Navy shooting a good percentage thus far, but not getting as many shots. Alexis and Butler banging inside. 8-7, the Orangemen. Addison. You know that Pearl would rather play against a man-to-man where he can create more.
Yeah, he loves to do this, get inside and try to dish.
Nice pass to Cycli. Cycli was on his way down, but he had enough strength to still get the ball up and in.
Gary, on this possession, let's watch the way Syracuse is playing David Robinson. Cycli is getting up and three-quartering him, and Wendell Alexis is coming over and giving baseline help. That's leaving Vernon Butler open, and they can't find him underneath.
Nathan Bailey will come in after a 3-second lane violation. Let's look at it.
Well, this is Pearl throwing the little lob pass, and Cycli showing outstanding athletic ability, getting it up and down in one motion off the backboard.
14-17 as we take this break. Syracuse leads it by 3.
Hi, Dad. How you doing?
John, you clown. Come here, you.
You're early.
Yeah, well, I was...
This isn't yours.
Yeah, it is.
6,000 STE? You're kidding.
What do you mean?
My dad? A Pontiac 6,000?
That's high-tech stuff.
The fuel-injected V6, right?
Yeah.
4-wheel disc brakes?
Yeah, it's got everything. Listen, come here. I know you've been hitting the books pretty hard. So, let's go for a ride.
All right.
We build excitement to Pontiac.
Presenting 5 incredible things you can do with the new John Deere lawn tractor. You can cut grass more evenly with our new mowing deck. You can get rid of rainwater with our new tip seat. And ride more quietly because we've enclosed the engine. You can even carry heavier loads because we've added more horsepower. But the most incredible thing you can do with the new John Deere tractor is take one home because we've lowered the price. Isn't that incredible?
We want to live. That is all we want, America. Are we so different from you?
60 Minutes tonight on CBS.
This was a play that Syracuse ran the last time down the floor to get Ronnie Cycli the little layup. We see Cycli here in the white along the baseline. Carl Liebert allows him to position him inside. Pearl with the penetration. At that point, Carl Liebert can do nothing with a 7-feet Ronnie Cycli, and he gets an easy shot inside. You can't let the big people use their body and muscle you out of there. You must stay in front of them, even though you're playing a zone defense.
Syracuse with the ball and also with the lead. We had one change just a moment ago. Coming into the ball game for the first time was Nate Bailey, number 32, a freshman. He's back there now to front that situation, and they don't do it. Alexis gets loose.
No ball pressure, allowing Pearl Washington to play to run the little alley-oop. But the Navy zone is allowing Syracuse too much freedom on that baseline, Gary. They got to get their body on them and bump them.
Tyler Whitaker on the move. Blocked out nicely by Cycli. Off to Pearl. 4-on-1. Alexis. Beautiful play. He's fouled. He'll have a chance for a three-pointer. What was impressive here, Doug, is how quickly he stopped to have control of this shot.
Well, Pearl in the middle dishing. Here's the play. Alexis gets hammered, but he has the concentration to finish the shot off. You see Pearl Washington there showing his enthusiasm, and Syracuse has called a timeout.
Timeout with 13:40, 14-7. Alexis will be at the line when we return.
Delta gets you there. To Los Angeles, Boston, Chicago, and New York. Also service to all of Florida's major resorts. Delta also gets you to Europe, Hawaii, and the islands. In all, Delta serves more than 100 cities in the U.S. and overseas. Delta gets you there.
When you do your taxes, a few simple steps will speed and simplify the process. Using the correct tax table to compute what you owe and double-checking the results ensures an accurate return. That means the right refund without delay. Rounding off cents to the nearest dollar won't result in a loss of money, but it will make your calculations easier and reduce the chance of errors. So this year, remember these 2 easy steps. You'll get done sooner and without any help. Well, almost.
The defending champion, Katarina Witt. The U.S. national champion, Debbie Thomas. The World Figure Skating Championships on CBS Sports Saturday and Sunday.
Syracuse has hit their last 5 shots. Navy called the timeout. If you're Paul Evans, what are you going to do?
Well, what you've got to do is you've got to find a way, first of all, to try to be able to get the ball up the court and then settle your tempo down. Syracuse is forcing him to a scatter type of ball game right now. They're getting into the half-court situation, and they've almost got like a panic-type offense right now. They've got to settle down and use their strength. They've got to get the ball to Butler and Robinson inside.
Alexis already has 7 points in this game, converting that 3-point play to make it 15-7. Wojcik's so much stronger than a year ago at that guard spot. He's going to have to be because he's going to have constant pressure as he brings it up. There's another deflection, and Wojcik's able to retrieve it at the other end. Navy right now is really losing some poise. The tempo is not at their liking. Wojcik's in trouble, and Trish comes out of there with it, and Addison, well, here's Whitaker instead. It will be, they're going to give it to Navy.
That was a good call there by referee Jimmy Clark. Booker Turner did not have a good view of the play. Jimmy Clark came up and gave him help. The ball was deflected out by a Syracuse player. But again, let's watch it right here. Addison's hand touches the ball last time there. But, Gary, the whole key right now, I think Wojcik tried to do a little bit too much with the dribble against Pearl Washington.
Vernon Butler, he's pushed way out. He doesn't want to be out there. He wants to be operating inside. Here's Whitaker on the move. Nice pass to Robinson. He wasn't ready for it, though, and a foul. That was a nice move inside by Whitaker. He knew Cycli was in the vicinity. Very quickly shoveled it off, and Addison commits the foul. Alabama leading Illinois 15-8. It's the only game besides this one going on right now as Robinson will go to line. David looked a little asleep on that play.
Well, he should have had a dunk there. He fumbled the play when Whitaker gave him a nice pass, but I thought it was a good foul because David Robinson is not a good free throw shooter. If that foul is not committed, then it's an automatic 2 points. Now they're going to force him to earn it at the free throw line, and as we said, he's a 61% free throw shooter.
2 of 3 thus far, 4 points in the game. First time these two met, Robinson had 22 points. Alexis rips it down.
So they pick up a point on that change there by committing the foul.
15-8. The Orangemen with the lead. Syracuse coming in here, the number 2 seed with a 26-5 record. Ranked 9th in the country at the end of the regular season. And they had a cakewalk against Brown in the first round, 101-52. For the baseline. Robinson blocking out nicely. And they're going to call the officials timeout. The net is hung up, so they're going to bring it down. Now,
boy,
I'll tell you something. You shouldn't do that when you have a break up the floor.
Absolutely correct. Don't do that until there's a stoppage of play. Navy was on their way to a possible fast break. They had possession of the ball. Should not stop the game like that and take away a possible fast break. And Paul Evans voiced his displeasure there with the official.
That net was hung up long before Addison put that shot up from the baseline, and He did express it. And right now, things not really going well for the midshipmen. They need some success as they trail 15-8. Butler. And it's Cycli again. Cycli playing very well. Has 2 blocks. Nice pass to Trish. Robinson rejected it. Alexis rejected again by David Robinson.
Oh, my word. What a play by David Robinson.
And wait a minute. At the other end, Booker Turner is whistling something down. What's this all about?
We've got another stoppage of play on a fast break.
All 3 officials are going to have a meeting on this one. They had 3 guys down there on this break and had it halted. Inadvertent whistle.
Well, you want to see why David Robinson is the leading shot blocker in the country. There's one. Great play against Howard Chester. He's out of the play. Watch him come back in. A quick leaper, and he gets the other one. That's why he's the leading shot blocker in the country.
What great anticipation. Well, an inadvertent whistle. And that's twice now Navy started to break up the floor. Once a net that was hung up in this, and they've had to stop play. They're going to get suspicious here pretty soon. Whitaker off to Wojcik. Nice fake by the left-hander. Rebound. Nicely cleared that time by Bailey to Whitaker. Cycli brings it down. .17 left to go in this game.
I'm impressed now with the patience that Syracuse is showing here on the offensive end. They're working the ball around well, trying to work it either inside or get the open jump shot. So they've been able to push it when they've had to and pull it back and get a nice shot in the half-court offense right now, Gary.
I think the guy that's learned to do that so well now is Pearl. He used to try to penetrate against zone, sometimes in trouble. Alexis, so smooth. Wendell Alexis, second team All-Big East pick, has 9 points. He is carrying Syracuse offensively in the early going. Whitaker. Navy needs something to go for him. Robinson once, twice, can't get it. Alexis has got it. Look at Pearl. And that'll be a charge on Washington. Wojcik decked on the play.
That's the point I was making early in the ball game. With Pearl Washington, you must stay on your feet. He wants to get you in the air. If you stay down, many times his momentum is going forward rather than straight up, and he has a tendency to draw those offensive fouls.
And that's the point I'm making. He does that against the zone many times. And that time it was a break down the floor. Greg Monroe now has checked in, a junior out of Rochester, an outstanding outside shooter. So he'll be along with Pearl in the backcourt for Jim Boeheim's team.
Gary, Navy needs a good possession this time down the floor. They need to get the ball inside, get a basket. They've been forced to the perimeter the last 3 times down the floor, as Syracuse now showing a little bit of a zone defense just to shift it up a little bit.
Butler blocked by Cycli. They're going to call goaltending. It's a long time in coming, but Navy gets off of 8 and moves ahead to 10 points, trailing by 7.
I really believe that possession right there was just sort of a change of tempo made by Jim Boeheim to give his players a little bit of a rest too. They've been expending a lot of energy in the full court defense.
10 minutes left in the first half. Also checking into the game is Rodney Walker, 42. He had a career high 15 points and 9 rebounds in that first round game against Brown. That's the man we were talking about, Walker. Addison will retrieve outside.
That's called respect right there. He had a wide open layup, and he was saying to himself, where is David Robinson? This man's blocking every shot, and he missed a wide open layup.
Looking down to the left, Wendell Alexis has an ice bag now. And we don't know if he's sustained an injury to his hand. We'll check that out. There he is. They have an ice bag on him, working with Alexis. He seems to be in some pain. Is it on his hand or his knee? I can't tell from this viewpoint.
It looks to me like he might be rubbing his thigh with the ice pack. He might have got a knee, sometimes right above the knee area there. It's a very soft place.
Robinson is called for the foul. That's 2. He was behind Cycli on this play, and David Robinson in disbelief. We mentioned he's fouled out only twice this year.
That's a tough play right there. They were trying to run an alley-oop for David Robinson, and he was the one that committed the foul. Ronnie Cycli again in good position, but It might be Wendell Alexis' hand. It looks like he might be rubbing his hand on that ice bag, and maybe he hit the basket. There we see him right there rubbing his hand, so he might have hit it on the rim as he went up for a rebound, or maybe got it against the backboard.
Still a 7-point lead for Syracuse. Two men go up against Cycli this time. Butler and Robinson comes out of there. Whitaker into Butler, and he does what he does the best, and that's just move inside, a blue-collar type guy, isn't
Well, that was a smart play there. Vernon Butler just sprinted to the box, and Kyler Whitaker spotted him and got him the ball. That's the kind of plays Navy must have to stay alive in this game.
All-time leading scorer and rebounder is Butler. Monroe, and that's what they like about him, is his outside shooting ability. Pumps it to a 19-12 lead for Syracuse. Baylor driving.
Oh, I thought he traveled.
Nice little change to the left hand, though. Bailey out of Weymouth, Massachusetts. They said he can create. He was creating there, wasn't he?
That was sleight of hand and foot.
Here's Walker, and Butler fouled him. Vernon Butler out of Beltsville, Maryland, committing his first foul, 15 foul, as Alexis will come back in, and Walker will leave. So Walker, a freshman out of Baltimore, giving him some quality minutes on Friday night and coming in and giving Alexis a breather early in this game. 8:05 left in the first half, 19-14 Syracuse.
This has been a very fast-paced first half. This has to be to Syracuse's liking.
Alexis wide open. Rebound by Baylor.
Well, Wendell Alexis would like to have that one back. That was a 10-foot wide open shot. He almost shot a set shot there. He was so open.
Those are the toughest to hit sometimes.
He had too much time.
Here's Robinson. He has that kind of range. Still not going for him. Alexis off to Pearl. To Cycli. 4 points for Cycli. Cycli's playing with confidence. Robinson is not right now. And that'll be a foul on Pearl.
I think that's a good point. And you know what? I think Ronnie Cycli made his statement the first play of this game when he went up and he blocked David Robinson's shot. The reason is because the first time they played in there, he did the same thing, and David Robinson got very tentative. David Robinson must attack the basket, although he has a little range on the floor. His game is 8 feet and in.
But he's just having a tough time, and Cycli, the stronger body of the two, is really able to maneuver him around, and Cycli commits a foul here. So both centers now have 2 fouls each.
They're forcing David Robinson to turn to the baseline, and look, he's got help there. Greg Monroe coming down to give help, almost a double team. Ronnie Cycli left his feet. You must stay on the floor, especially against a player of David Robinson's stature.
I like the substitution, Doug. He's taking Cycli out with 2 fouls, not letting him get that third in, because they really don't have that kind of depth at that spot. Get him out of there, as coming in now to replace him as Walker. Robinson now with 5 points.
You look at David Robinson at the free throw line. He's got nice rotation on his shot. He's got a nice little routine. I'm surprised he's not a better free throw shooter than he is. He's got nice concentration, and he knocks both of those in, doesn't even hit the rim.
I suppose because he plays so hard, it takes himself out of the free throw line.
It possibly could be it. He might just get fatigued when he shoots the free throws and just can't combat it.
21-16 Syracuse. Broken up momentarily by Whitaker. Here's Monroe again. You know, he went through a confidence lapse for a while. He wouldn't shoot the ball, but it looks like it's back now. He's nailed his first 2 opportunities. Whitaker wheeling inside and blocked by Alexis. They can come at you from a lot of directions. They don't just have Cycli. Alexis, Addison, they'll get up there, and they cause a lot of problems.
Whitaker is a standstill jump shooter. When you force him to put it on the floor, you take a lot of his game away, and that's what Syracuse has done. They've not let him get his feet together and shoot.
Block, take it over. Blocked by Alexis. Walker got it. Here's Monroe again. Rebound by Robinson. 23-16 Syracuse, 6:22. Here's Whitaker.
That's his shot right there. He didn't get it to go, but that's the one he has to hit.
Follow, and that basket will count. Nice follow by Bailey, and the foul. He'll have a chance for a three-point play. It was Monroe committing the foul, his first. I also, though, get the feeling they're putting up those shots awfully quick, though, Doug.
They are. And Kyler Whitaker there with the jumper didn't get it to go. Bailey working hard to get inside position. And Gary, as much as Syracuse has controlled the flow of this first half, if he converts his free throw, you're looking at Navy only 4 points behind in this ball game. And that says a whole lot to me that Navy has been able to maintain at least somewhat a close spot on the field here with Syracuse.
Coming in doing a good job as Bailey. He started 11 games earlier this year. Here's Pearl from outside.
On the back. Let's go.
Inside position by Butler, but coming out of there is Alexis. Tipped outside. Coming in for the first game now is Cliff Reese, number 44, 6'4" guard forward. Tipped up, and the foul will go on Walker, and Robinson applauds that. That now will put him in the 1-and-1. That's 17 fouls against Syracuse.
As David Robinson walks to the free throw line, I think it's important to make a point right now that combined, David Robinson and Vernon Butler on the year have shot 476 free throws. That's exactly what the total opponent's free throws have been against him. So those two players get to the line as much as the teams do that play against him on the course of the season.
Which says they have an inside game. That's what got him here, and they got to continue to play that way, and that's been a problem today thus far.
Their team on the year has shot 826 free throws to 476 for their opponent.
He hits one of the two. It's a three-point lead now for the Orangemen. Biggest lead Syracuse has had in this first half is 9, and now Navy has a chance to cut it to 1. Early, it looked like some of that discipline that they had at the academy was not there, but it's coming back slowly but surely into Robinson. It's a one-point game. 9 points.
Gary, do you sense a confidence level in Navy now starting to come forward?
I tell you got a lot of respect for these guys from Annapolis. They battle back after trailing by 9. They're within 1.
Wojcik with an outstanding alley-oop pass to Robinson. Alexis just a little late getting there. When David Robinson gets there, it's 2 points.
And so this game's complexion has changed. 5:12 left to go in this first half.
This weekend, I'm seeing Rhonda. I got the Camaro. I'm seeing the folks, so I got a Chevette. My sister's in town this weekend with her kids.
You need a big car.
For just the right car, ask National for their low weekend rates, starting as low as $21.95 a day for an economy car like the Chevrolet Chevette.
For my class reunion, the Cadillac.
Weekends, it pays to get national attention.
You know, life's too short to worry about impressing other people. I mean, have you ever been really impressed by a person's credit card? What matters about a credit card is how it impresses me. MasterCard gives me what I want, and anything is possible. It goes where I want to go. Could be Timbuktu. When I want, day or night. Don't talk to me about impressions. Give me possibilities. MasterCard. Master the possibilities.
Syracuse by 1, 23-22. When they took Ronnie Cycli out of the ballgame, things started to change a little bit as Alabama continues to lead the Fighting Illini of Illinois. Cycli with 2 fouls. Boeheim took him out, and that's when Navy really made their spurt.
I wonder if he's going to leave him there for the rest of the half, wanting him in that second half with 3 fouls. We'll have to wait to see what Jimmy Boeheim decides to do.
5 minutes left in this first half. Monroe remains in. He's hit 2 out of 3 from the field. The Pearl penetrates, and it's off the hands of Walker. And here comes Cycli. That's more than Boeheim can stand, so he'll bring Ronnie in. I mean, you can worry about the foul situation, but you can also worry about losing the lead here. And foul situation to be academic.
When you play with a player like Pearl Washington and he penetrates, you should always be expecting a pass. Rodney Walker was not ready to receive that pass. Pearl will get you a layup if you just keep your head up.
Reese baseline to Butler. Boy, is he tough. Strong, powerful move.
Smart play. He saw Cycli on him back there, realizing he couldn't mess with him or he might pick up his third foul, so he took it right to him.
And Navy now has taken the lead. Last lead they had was at the 17-13 mark. Cycli missed the stop. Robinson. Sometimes it's tough to come off the bench and go right to a play like that.
He just mistimed his jump. He was a little bit further out on the floor than he thought he was and couldn't quite make up the distance once he got in the air.
Boy, you can see a real confidence swing occurring out here. The midshipmen now are back in their game. Syracuse trying to get back to what they had earlier when they had that 9-point lead. And that's thrown away. Bojic trying to get it into Robinson. That's 10 turnovers. At the conclusion of every one of our NCAA tournament broadcasts, we'll be selecting a Chevrolet Most Valuable Player from each team. And Chevrolet donates a $1,000 scholarship to the General Scholarship Fund of each school to further assist qualified students in all chosen academic fields. Trish has come back into the ball game now. Number 25 for Jim Boeheim. 24-23 Navy.
Syracuse really looking from the point to try to work on that baseline. Lob passes as Addison and Alexis are running the baseline.
There he is again, the human blocking machine, Robinson. He has 6 already. That's right at his seasonal average. They wait on David now to assume his offensive position. Now Butler, and Butler that time had a lot of congestion. It'll be off of Syracuse.
We see the heavy wrap on Vernon Butler's knee. It's a knee brace. He hyperextended a knee probably about a month ago, and it's still not 100%. That brace is just to give him support to keep him from hyperextending it again, but I think it affects him inside a lot of times on his shot when he needs the power out of his legs to go to the basket because he's not a good jumper as it is.
Well, he also had a virus, and he lost a lot of weight. He had 116 straight starts before that. Outside shot by Reese. The Pearl to Addison. Navy got back very quickly. Addison will load it up. And rebounded by Trish. Howard Trish, a native of Syracuse.
Sort of their unsung hero. He just slips around in there and he'll get some baskets for you, and afterwards you pick up the stat sheet and see he's got 8 or 10 points in the ball game.
You need a guy like that sometimes. Very unselfish player. There's a foul on Addison. Raphael Addison committing his 2nd foul. At halftime, we're going to have a program about the off-Broadway guys. Women's tournament update, as we'll be talking about the women's championship that will be coming up on March 30th. Some of the upsets. Cleveland State will be playing in game 2 here. Arkansas Little Rock, who defeated Notre Dame. Talking to Gene Corrigan, who is here today from the NCAA tournament committee. Athletic director of Notre Dame, and they lost to the Trojans of Mike Newell. Free throw situation. Navy 7 of 10. Syracuse has taken only 1 free throw.
Navy's doing a good job in that zone defense, not fouling Syracuse and putting them on the free throw line. They have only 5 team fouls. Reese steps up and knocks in 2 free throws. He's an 84% free throw shooter. So right now the difference in this ball game is where we thought it would be, and that's at the free throw line.
Navy is not a good free throw shooting team. 63 for the year, and a foul on Butler, who reaches around. Vernon Butler, 3-time all-conference, and interestingly enough, the first junior captain in 24 years at Navy. And this year, of course, was captain again. That was his 2nd foul, and that is now the 16th foul. 1 more, and they'll be shooting free throws. Syracuse will. 2.5 to go in the first half. Navy by 1. Doug, I don't care if you match up well or not. I still think you're good playing a zone against Syracuse because it really hurts Pearl.
He becomes a stagnant player. He can't get in the seams like he'd like to. He can't penetrate and dish. Right now he's getting a little frustrated. Going to go to the outside jump shot.
And that's not his shot, and there's going to be a push-off inside. It's going to go against Syracuse. Foul will be on Trish, his first. Well, Navy's got this game playing in their hands right now after earlier looking like they might lose control of it. Substitution for the midshipman, Derek Turner, a 6'6" freshman, who started the first 9 games this year, will give Robinson a breather at the 2:07 mark. Now, that'll keep him also, Doug, from picking up his 3rd foul.
Very good point. Right now, Paul Evans would like to go this last 2:07 and let David Robinson sit on the bench knowing that he's going to come in and have 3 fouls to commit in the second half as Vernon Butler misses a big free throw that would have given his team a 2-point lead.
Robinson sits down with 8 points, 2 rebounds, 6 block shots. Addison, and it'll be a foul. The foul will go on Bailey. They feel that Bailey's the best small forward prospect that Paul Evans has recruited since he's been in Navy.
David Robinson coming back into the ball game. I guess he's going to try to use him now in the offensive possession.
So there goes our theory out the window, huh?
Yeah, I guess he feels like that he does not have the luxury. He got an 13-second rest there.
13 seconds is 13 seconds, huh? Addison at the line. 2nd team All Big East pick. Interestingly enough, this Syracuse team, 4 of their 5 starters made either the 1st or the 2nd team All Big East team. That shows you the balance that they've had.
He's had a foot injury that's really bothered him probably the last 8 weeks of the season or the last 6 weeks of the season. And right now, I think he's just starting to get the feel back that he had with his offense.
Coming in for the first time, an exciting little guy, Sherman Douglas out of the Washington, D.C. area. He's a crowd favorite here in the Carrier Dome. So he comes in with 1:54 left in the first half. Full court pressure coming up now. Syracuse with a 1-point lead. Whitaker gets it off to Robinson. It's nice to have a 6'11" target when you're in trouble. And there's a foul on Douglas as he goes after Wojcik. That'll be the first, of course, on Douglas, who just checked in. So at the 1:49 mark, another substitution. Here comes Turner right back in and Robinson out. So they wanted Robinson in for rebounding on the missed free throw.
And also, too, for offense, they figured they're going to get the ball back. They'd like to use his offense. So what they're going to do now is situation substitution with David Robinson. Try to keep him out of the ball game defensively so he won't pick up his 3rd foul. Try to get him back in there for his offense.
Wojcik hits that one. Doug Wojcik out of Wheeling, West Virginia. 75% free throw shooter. He set an assist record last year and broke it this year. 226 assists coming into this ball game.
You know, I'm surprised that Navy is not a better free throw shooting. Gary, you and I talked about this today. You look at their team free throw shooting percentage, only 63%, and you'd think that they would be better shooters than that because they see so many zones.
They're too busy marching and cleaning their rifles. But you would. That's a good point. Here's Wendell Alexis. He is so smooth. He's a joy to watch. 29-28. 11 points for Alexis. Whitaker off to Wojcik. Wojcik so physically more impressive this year than last year. He's gained some weight. Here is Whitaker. Tyler Whitaker. 8th lead change in this game. Navy up by 1. It's been an interesting first half, hasn't it?
Oh, I think that Navy has shown an awful lot of character. They could have been blown out early. They got it back together.
There's the Pearl operating inside. 4 points for Pearl Washington.
The reason Pearl was able to do that is because David Robinson is sitting on the bench.
Whitaker re-steals the ball. Off it comes. Here is Turner, and Turner showing some quickness. 6'6" freshman. And Navy back by 1. Back and forth we're going now as we go to the last 30 seconds.
Shot clock is now off. Syracuse should hold for the last shot. Try to go in either 1 down or 1 up.
The Pearl with 4 points. Not able really to be that much involved offensively against the zone. As we said, in the last 6 weeks, he's been averaging almost 27 points. Douglas, I don't think that's the guy they want taking the shot, did they? Off it comes now, and broken up, and we come to the close of this first half of play. So after trailing by 9, Navy comes back to take a 1-point lead at halftime, 32-31. CBS Sports coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
Used to be Alabama, Birmingham. Now you say UAB and everybody knows what they're talking about. That's what we're shooting for.
Cleveland State beat Bob Knight with a freelance, almost playground attack, adding insult to injury as far as the disciplined Hoosiers are concerned.
I think it was a success story for our style of play. We have a style that's completely opposite from Coach Knight's. I have tremendous respect for Coach Knight's philosophy and his system, but there is another way to play the game.
And if they can raise their game yet another notch, they'll wind up in a regional semifinal.
It's been a magic carpet ride, the whole NCAA, and hopefully we can continue to ride that magic carpet.
So the off-Broadway guys are coming up next on CBS. Many of you will watch Western Kentucky against Kentucky. Those two schools have met only once in their history, 1971 in the tournament, and Jim McDaniel led Western Kentucky to a victory. Coming up now, Dave Robinson and Navy's second half up in the Carrier Dome, and we'll have that action in just a moment.
Presenting the Honda 4Trax. Only from Honda.
When those that are kept apart finally come together, it's not just good, it's fantastic. McDonald's new McDLT.
It's one thing to say you fight friction. It's another thing to prove it. Kendall Motor Oil did. First, ordinary piston rings were plated with pure gold. Then, a prestigious independent laboratory ran them under stop-and-go driving conditions for 5,000 miles. The results? Look, Kendall protected the soft gold. A remarkable test only Kendall has taken. Now, doesn't that tell you something? Kendall Motor Oil, for protection worth its weight in gold.
To Peerless Faucet, durability means solid brass, resilient copper, and stainless steel construction. It also means if you install your Peerless washerless faucet today, it will not only still be working in the year 2001, it will still be under warranty. Peerless do-it-yourself faucets. Install in no time and last a long time.
Another Final Four approaching, and you're stuck at home again. Next year, there's only one place to be for this basketball classic. Celebrate the Final Four in New Orleans. Find out how to order your 87 Final Four tickets. Write the NCAA or call 913-362-1987. Call today, 913-362-1987, and we'll see you in New Orleans.
This message furnished by the NCAA.
Welcome back to the Carrier Dome. We've had 10 lead changes, and Navy right now have a 32-31 lead. Let's take a look now at some of the statistics in this first half. First, let's look at the field goal percentage. Navy getting the better of it.
Well, I thought that Navy did an excellent job after the first 5 minutes of taking away easy baskets for Syracuse, keeping them on the perimeter.
As far as free throws are concerned, this shouldn't surprise us. Navy's been doing this all year long.
Well, Syracuse getting there only 3 times, making all of them, but Navy 10 for 14. That is the difference of the ball game.
Well, we wanted to continue to show the comparisons between the centers, Cycli and Robinson. And after a shaky start, David Robinson came on very well.
I thought he did a great job bouncing back. Ronnie Cycli blocked his first shot. David Robinson got it together. He went to him, took it to him offensively. I think the key of this ball game, who is going to pick up that third foul the soonest?
Well, that was interesting because both coaches started substituting, trying to get him out of there not to pick up the third foul before the end of the first half. 32-31, Navy with the advantage. CBS Sports coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
There are lots of new things going on in healthcare, and this new healthcare can be good
if there's someone who really cares for you. That's why nearly 80 million people carry the Blue Cross and Blue Shield card. But this message isn't for those who do. It's for those who don't.
This is Brush Plus from Gillette. A shaving concentrate and brush in one. A brush to lift whiskers, a concentrate to soften them. A shave that is superior. Brush Plus for a superior shave.
Hey, where did you learn about computers?
In the Army.
You were in the Army, too?
Qualify for the GI Bill and the Army College Fund, and you can earn over $25,000 for college.
What you do in the Army?
Airborne.
You used to jump out of airplanes?
This is CBS.
Put on your high heel sneakers. Put that hawk hat on your head. University of Hartford Hawks. Great basketball, free concerts. Put on your high heel sneakers. I got that music in my head. Get next year's season ticket now. Cause the heat goes on in Hartford. You know those Hawks are gonna knock them dead. Call 243-HAWK today.
2 John York suits for just $149, 2 Whitty Brothers suits for $199, 2 Giorgio San Angelo or Eagle suits for $299. Anders.
Today's East Region second round game is sponsored by AT&T. In long-distance services, information systems, telephones, and computers, AT&T is the right choice. Exceptionally smooth Michelob. Where you're going, it's Michelob. And by today's Chevrolet, who invite you to live the style, performance, and fun of Chevrolet in '86.
Well, we're halfway there, determining who will continue on in the NCAA tournament. On to East Rutherford. Let's go back now and recapture some of the block shots. First, Ronnie Cycling.
This was the first shot that David Robinson took in the ball game. He's going to catch the ball. He's got good position. Goes up with a little lack of respect for Ronnie Cycling. He puts it right back at him. But David Robinson responded his own way. He came back, and this is what he's going to do. A great block shot here on a little jump hook by Wendell Alexis, which gets Navy started out on a fast break.
You could just see the confidence coming back. I would think, Doug, as you look at the individual scoring in this first half, Alexis with 11 and Robinson with 9, the Navy got over a big stumbling block, not letting this large crowd, back that Syracuse is playing at home, completely destroy them. They were able to battle back.
You know, David Robinson said something at the press conference the other night after their victory. 2 things I thought were important. He said, we must play with a lot of emotion. Secondly, he said, we're much more relaxed now playing in front of a larger crowd. I think last year their experience against LSU and Maryland in the tournament is going to pay big dividends for them in the second half.
Ready to go. The Orangeman will inbounds the ball. We'll watch Pearl Washington very closely. He had only 4 points. He did have 5 assists in that first half. Will the zone continue to stymie him? Will his teammates be alert for those unbelievable passes he can make?
Pearl shot only 2 for 7 in the first half. Both of his shots sort of corkscrew layups. He missed all of his outside jumpers.
Alexis with a strong game. He has 13 points. He's always there. He's ready to play. Seemingly the most consistent player for the Syracuse team. Overshadowed in some ways by Addison and the Pearl. 11 lead changes now. Syracuse by 1. Butler on the move. Wasn't very quick or very fast, but it was effective.
Navy made a nice adjustment. Wendell Alexis is leaving Vernon Butler and going over to take the baseline away from David Robinson. They skipped the ball over the top, and Butler with a nice power move to the basket. As you said, not quick, but effective.
A slow power move. But it counts. And now the midshipman by 1. Alexis inside. Robinson lays off of him. Alexis has scored the first 4 of the second half.
Looks to me like Jimmy Boeheim has told his team, look, he blocked some shots in the first half, but we're going to take it right to him. Let's see if we can get this third foul. They've got both baskets inside.
Whitaker almost had it stolen by Addison. Bailey starting the second half. The freshman follow away, and he nails it. 7 points. He's contributed. As I said, early in the year, he was starting some ball games. Started 11, now coming off the bench, and then starting the second half.
See if they get the ball inside against the zone. Again, their first two possessions, they've got it at the dotted line for easy baskets. David Robinson's got to do a better job keeping it out of there. He's the man in the middle.
Butler on Cycli, double pumped, and he walked with it because Robinson was waiting on him, and he knew it. A lot of times, statistically, you don't have those chain shots. You can't put that in the box score, right?
We see Alabama now. They had a big lead over Illinois. Illinois starting to climb back in that ball game. Well, Gary, that's a good point. A great shot blocker will force you to miss shots you'll normally make because you start looking for him. Where is he at? And that's what happened the last time down the floor.
Now, there is the foul on Alexis. Foul Butler. Wendell Alexis, that's only his first foul. And Navy will inbound. Alexis out of Brooklyn. And on the baseline, near side will be Bailey to bring it in. Bailey starting the second half. They opened the ball game with Wojcik and Whitaker and came with Liebert at one of the forwards. But Liebert is not starting in the second half for Paul Evans' team. There's Whitaker. Inside Robinson, and he's fouled by Trish.
Good foul there by Trish, though he would not let David Robinson finish his shot. He wanted to go up and power slam it. Ronnie Cycli got hung up on the top here. A nice pass. We're going to see him try to lunge for the steal. He leaves himself open to the basket, but Trish there, again, a good foul. You got to use your fouls on David Robinson. You can't let him get those dunks inside. Make him earn them at the free throw line. He got there in the first half 8 times and converted 5 of them.
61% free throw shooter. You're right, though. He's got good rotation on the ball and nails that one. No one has come farther in 3 years in basketball than David Robinson. You stop and think about it. He had 1 year of high school ball. Paul Evans telling the story and went to look at somebody else because he'd heard about these 2 players, and he went out and he watched them. And the one that was the lesser of the 2 was the one he ended up getting. But now look what has happened. There's Pearl.
That leaping, leaning jump shot of Pearl Washington. He loves to get in the lane and lean on you. That time he was able to convert. Navy tried to take a charging foul, but no contact there enough to warrant a foul.
Third tie of the game at 37. Robinson ducks in. Cycli got a piece of it. Here's Pearl at his best to Trish. That was a tough catch, and Trish converts it for 2. That's the point we made, Doug. When he creates, you better have eyes in the back of your head because that ball can come from anywhere.
The crowd wanting to get in the ball game now. Pearl has them ignited. How will Navy respond? Can they get a good possession?
Baseline goes Bailey. Butler inside. Butler is like an anchor in there. He has 12 points. Here's Pearl again, and he's out of control this time. Pearl ducking inside. A little frustrated possibly in that first half. Now trying to make some things happen. Jim Boeheim, who is a co-captain at Syracuse, a teammate of Dave Bing. The foul will go on Wojcik. It will be his first personal foul. It wasn't there for Pearl, but he still was able to create something. Here's Wojcik on the foul, and Alexis has committed his second. Third team foul against Syracuse. It looked like Syracuse was going to ignite. Pearl had him headed in that direction, but now Navy battling right back, tied it up with a chance to take the lead.
When the crowd has gotten into this ball game, which has been rare today, Navy has done a good job of quieting them down quickly. They've not letting them get those spurts that Paul Evans talked about. He said, we can't let Syracuse beat us with spurts, and they have not done that thus far today.
Wojcik continues to do yeoman-like work against Pearl and bringing the ball up. Bailey to Butler. Whitaker into David, and he's fouled by Cycli, and that'll be the 3rd foul, and we were wondering which of these 2 centers would pick up that 3rd one.
Jimmy Boeheim yelling at Ronnie Cycli, you must front him. A man with this kind of offensive ability, you're not going to block his shot every time he takes it to the hoop. This time, David Robinson, with authority, takes it right to the face of Ronnie Cycli and picks up the 3rd foul. Let's keep our eye on that, Gary. 16-18 here at the half, and Cycli picks up that 3rd personal.
11 points now for David Robinson. 7 of 11 from the line, 5 rebounds, 6 block shots. Second team All-American, player of the year in the Colonial Athletic Association, the new league that was formed this year. Maybe in the second half, 3 of 5 for the field. Syracuse has hit all 4 of their shots, but still trail by 2. Addison changed his shot because Robinson was there. Trish comes out with it. Rejected again. That's the 7th block.
This David Robinson has great timing.
Whitaker. Robinson.
They talk about the great players in the country. You better put David Robinson right at the top of the list. He's as good as any player in the country, Gary.
Well, you've been telling me he should be player of the year. I'm starting to believe you now.
This kid is outstanding.
Addison, a forced shot. Alexis. Robinson with another block. He's taken over the game. Whitaker at the other end. He walked with it. There was one that got away from him, but you can't blame Navy when you've got a guy like Robinson doing what he's doing. It just brings your play up about 2 notches.
I fell in love with this David Robinson last year when I saw him play against Maryland, when he was going against Lenny Bias and that front line that they have in Maryland, and he held his own and more. This kid has improved 100% even over that.